Welcome back, everybody. Kenny Smyson here. I do put out Starfield content every week, so be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. And today I'm continuing with the Custom Hab series. We're going to be going through the HopeTech. And the whole point to this series is to show the difference between the fully stocked default Habs versus what they look like empty. Because in some cases, you will lose things that you thought would maybe stay behind in the Hab. And in other cases, you'll actually still have stuff in the Hab that you think would be cleared out in the empty Hab, right? So we're going to go ahead and go through the HopeTech ones today, starting with the 2x1s. First up, we are in the All-in-One Berth, and we're in the back of it here where the beds and the bathroom are. And in the middle section, of course, is the kitchen with the galley on the left and the table on the right, and on into the living room. I don't think that ladder causes anything to be lost, but take a good look at it here, see what happens when we head downstairs. As you can see, this section here is completely cleaned out except for those shelves. So you could put those to use still, I suppose, putting stuff on them. But you do keep the galley. So this all-in-one berth does kind of lend itself to being still a berth, but at least you get the chance to decorate it with maybe some better quality looking stuff. Because, you know, a lot of the HopeTech decor, furniture at least, looks pretty trashy. So you still have your bed, your beds and your bathroom back here. Next up is the Armory, which is awesome to have because it doubles as a one-person brig, one-cell brig, right? And so on either side, you just have some basic storage on the walls and this desk and chair, which you lose if you have a window or ladder in the floor. You've got the cell on the right and the weapon racks on the left here, which I'm not a big fan of in general because it's like, hey, inmate, here's all the weapons if you happen to hack your cell, right? So from that perspective, I like to run with the custom Hab now because you still keep the cell, but everything else is gone. All the weapon racks are gone here, and then you still have the shelves on either end, but the table, chairs, and storage supply items are all gone. Next up, we have the captain's quarters, which is just loaded with all kinds of good stuff when it's in its natural state here, from the navigation console, the sweet table over there and chairs, and shelves on the back here. Realistically, if you have a door coming in here, the only wall you can put a door without losing anything relevant or useful is that back door, or the back wall right there. You got your bed and desk in the middle, and like your living room up here up front with a coffee maker on the left and the bathroom on the right. Well, if you go downstairs, you're still gonna have your bed, I believe. Let's check. Bed and the bathroom. Bathroom, bed. Yeah, so this is pretty empty, but you have your shelves, so you get the chance to do what you want with it. And then this little nook gets cleared out, and this entire section over here is cleared out. So yeah, it ends up being a much more versatile where you can still maintain your captain's quarter vibe with your bed. You got your bathroom, but a little more freedom to do what you want in here. Next up is the computer core, which is cool because it has the +1 to your crew capacity. This end has a bunch of storage. This wall here on the left, nothing but computer servers and panels. Some computer stations here on the right, and then technically the back of the Hab here, you've got some more desks, or a couple of stations and chairs. I think there's a little station right there where that ladder has unfortunately made it go away, but let's hop on down here. And this thing is completely cleared out. You've got the shelves here on the left and the right, but as you make your way through here, this niche is just completely clear for you, as well as you have a couple more shelves back here. So while retaining that +1 to your crew, this Hab suddenly becomes much more versatile into doing whatever you want with it. Next up, we have the control room, which, just like the computer core before it, you have that bonus to your crew. Of course, this is a +4, which you retain even if you have the empty version of this Hab. And as you can see, just you got your desks, monitors everywhere, some storage stuff on either end. But when you head downstairs, this thing gets completely cleaned out. I mean, this is really ideal if you want to have a huge crew on a small ship. You run with, frankly, any of these empty control rooms, and you're able to get, let's see, well, at least 6 right there, 2 off your cockpit plus 4 from here, so you could have a crew of 6 just from, a single Hab ship. Next up is the Infirmary, which has storage on either end, at the research station on this side, table and stools right there, beds in the middle, and then the pharmaceutical lab here on the left. Now when you go downstairs, it gets pretty well cleaned out. You do have the shelves on the back here, and then in the middle here, this kind of compartmentalized room section. So this Hab doesn't come with any perks or passive traits, but it does have a kind of unique setup with these walls that kind of divide it. I can see myself using this to be like a passageway in between two different parts of the ship, where you can have this little section off here be like a, I don't know, like a security checkpoint or something like that, with a desk, and separate the civilian from the military part of the ship, right? That kind of thing. And now we are in the living quarters. Got some storage on the back here with this little workout station, punching bag, and a weights set, which is pretty sweet. In the middle you have a table, beds on the left, and a galley on the right. And that, I'm pretty sure, completely cleared out any kind of living room, having that ladder there. But when you head downstairs, everything gets cleaned out except for the galley and then the beds. So this still ends up being a living quarters, even if you wanted to do something a little different with it. Kind of forces you to have that. It does have your +2 to your passenger capabilities, so if you just want to basically decorate your own HopeTech living quarters, this is the way you'd want to go. Although it doesn't have a bathroom, but that's what the berth is for. And this is the science lab. Lots of just random stuff back here, or on the front here, I should say. We got table and chairs, storage. Now this, the cool thing about this is even if you have a window and door on either side of that monitor and corner desk right there, or table, you'll still have those. They'll stay there. So worth noting. I like that touch about this Hab. Anyways, you got your, let's see, your research station and pharmaceutical lab here. And this has a very, it doesn't look like a typical HopeTech with these monitors and stuff being here. It looks a little more upkept until you look at that chair, right? So let's go ahead and head on downstairs and see what we lost out on. Pretty well cleaned out, but you do have these little dividers here. So I don't quite know what you'd really want to do with this Hab. I don't think it gives you any bonuses, right? So, but there you have it. And the final 2x1, of course, is the workshop. Got some storage and workstations back here, right in the middle, all the relevant ones. So you've got your industrial, weapon, and spacesuit workbenches, and just some more storage up front. Can't quite recall if this ladder causes you to lose anything, but much like the science lab, this Hab kind of becomes pointless because, I mean, I don't know. There's no bonuses to this Hab, and there's, I don't know, this wall I guess you can do something with. You got some shelves on either end, but there you have it. Moving on, we are looking at the HopeTech 3x1s. There is only a single 3x1, and it is the engineering Hab. Lots of good stuff in here, of course. As you guys are aware, all the industrial equipment, machines. Good to see all this stuff in here, some computers and whatnot. Does give you a +1 to your crew size. Come down here, and just a nice big empty room. Got some shelves on the back here. This would be another great Hab for like a center point when you're trying to connect different parts of the ship together without it seeming too cluttered or themed. You could still decorate this up decently. In particular, let's say if you had some Habs going off the front ends and you just need like just a simple passageway in here. These little walls in the middle kind of give you a little bit to work with without being too much. Next up are the 2x2s, and there are 5 of them, but you'll notice I only have one of the ones up front because that's the All-in-One Berth, and I have the empty version of it, but I do not have the regular default one with all the stuff in it. And so here we are standing in it, and I have a save from before I have any mods on it, so it's mod free, and I checked it on that save. It's not there. the regular all-in-one berth is simply gone. So anyways, there wasn't a lot in there, if I remember correctly, from when I did use it in the past, but you've got the kitchen section here, as well as that bathroom. Just a huge room and a little storage along the walls. I remember just some of that kind of classic or typical HopeTech furniture being scattered around. So this one, at least it gives you the chance to have a much better one if you decorate it yourself, because you still have your bedroom, which the nice thing I like about this Hab is it's the only berth that has a door going into the bedroom itself, so it's kind of a nice touch. But lots of potential with this big area to play with. Next up, we are in the 2x2 battle stations. Seeing all this stuff here. Got this little separate room off to the side or in the corner. Obviously, your navigation console on these ones are tucked up against the wall right there. Lots of computer mainframes. Consoles in the middle here. I think there's a lock. Oh no, both lockers are there. Okay, yeah, I don't think that ladder causes anything to be missed. So here we are, gonna hop downstairs. And yep, so you have all your walls in place, and shelves, but everything is off the walls, of course. Nice. So giving your a boost to your crew size, you could still do a lot with this. You could turn this into a kitchen or something like that. Probably not so much. Well, there's no bathroom, so you wouldn't be able to do like a proper berth, but you could do living quarters. Oh, whoa, that's funny. These lights float. It wouldn't. It's not a bug. It's a feature. Next up, we're in the 2x2 Brig, which 4 of the 5 all have the same layout, just kind of the different touches internally on the cosmetics. So you can tell this is a HopeTech, being darker with the curved walls, but they all have this one room on the end right there. Then they've got 2 cells, one there on the right, one here on the left. The bathroom over here in the corner, which the doors open always on this one. It's kind of cool. It's like, yeah, you don't want your inmates, if they're using the restroom, to be up to no good. And then moving on into this room where there's kind of like a little armory of sorts with the weapon rack there. I don't think we've lost anything. We might have lost something there with that ladder. But in any event, as we look here around, here we are. Going to head downstairs. And as you can expect, you're basically going to still have a Brig with this. But then you get the chance to decorate it how you want. Because, one thing I've mentioned in the past on that smaller Brig is having the armory right next to the Brig. Not the smoothest move, right? You get a hacker, get out, it's a quick run to a weapon, right? So you don't want to do that. But other than that, this is a fantastic Hab for, when it's empty, so you can do a proper Brig to your liking. And here is the 2x2 cargo haul. Very basic, very straightforward. I'm typically not a fan of the HopeTech stuff. Usually looks a little sloppy and messy for my taste, but I do like the way the cargo hold looks. I mean, with all the stuff strapped to the walls, it definitely just kind of pulls off a good look, in my opinion. So nothing but a big blank room and some shelves on the side, which when we head downstairs, we'll see. Yep, you got the shelves there and shelves on that side. So yeah, obviously there's no bonuses to this room. You don't even get a boost to your cargo, but if you're looking for just a very big blank slate, big room, this is what you're going to want to go with. And the last of the 2x2s is the computer core, which gives you a +2 to your crew size, or it might be a +1, but you still retain that with the empty Hab. A really cool layout to this Hab, the way it just kind of twists and turns. Your main desk right there. Computer consoles. I don't like the messy cables all over the floor, though. It's one thing I'm not a fan of down here. I mean, kind of done some IT work in the past. That is, just drives my brain crazy. It's a tripping hazard. So let's go ahead and head on downstairs.
Bet you got some shin splints from that.
I did, Barrett, I did. So got some nice empty rooms here. Not quite sure what I would do with this. I mean, you could have like almost like an entry point to the ship, right? Well, but then, yeah, if you had like your bays or something like that, this could almost be like a reception point with some doors back here heading into the rest of the ship, assuming your bay or docker were up in one of these rooms. That'd be kind of cool. Next up is the cargo hall 2x3, and this is definitely one of my favorite ones because it's kind of darker, a little more moody. I like that vibe for my cargo halls. I don't like them being too bright. Only downside is the exterior of the HopeTech. I'm not a big fan of how they're curved like they are. But yeah, lots of good mixture of stuff in here. When you head down below, obviously you're going to be really well cleaned out. And unfortunately, just like any of the cargo halls, they don't actually do anything to help your cargo carry on your actual ship. You need the exterior cargo modules for that. But despite not having any bonuses, this room does have a lot of potential for doing a lot of stuff with, I would say. Just nice, big, basic, clean slate. You got some flat walls you can work with. The one downside is how these curved walls, when they take away the cargo that's strapped down, it doesn't leave you with a lot of options of what you can do. But I did notice you can put a... oh, that's right there, yeah. These wall shelves and wall cabinets, you can mount those in there. So, you know, decoration-related stuff kind of gives you a little bit more to work with. And here is the mess hall 2x3. I don't think this ladder causes anything to be missed. It's just a little storage, a little storage nook right there. But obviously you have all your tables in the middle here. You got your little private lounge thing on the side here, and then your big old galley over on the other side with two functional galleys. The cooking station here, that's a decorative item, and then this galley itself, which they do the same thing, of course. But when you go downstairs, as you'll see, the galley is still there on the wall. So kind of forces you to make this happen into some kind of a living quarter setup. But at least it gives you more flexibility. I mean, you could, with that already over there on the wall, you could easily just do this into the dining room kitchen with food storage over there in the little closet area here, right? And then you can do like the rest. You could have a living quarters basically going on in here. The only thing it doesn't have is a bathroom. And you can still pull off a private lounge in here. And that purple light glow from that TV is still there on the ceiling. Next up, we're in the 3x2 cargo hall. Obviously very similar to the 2x3 we just saw, but this one definitely looks a little different. Some of them are straight just 90-degree rotations of each other, but the HopeTech is not. So like it doesn't have the railings in the middle with the stuff set inside those little cage-like setups. It also doesn't have any of the computer consoles around the edge. So at least it's a little different. But then as you can imagine, go downstairs, just like the 2x3, it's just going to be cleaned out. You got some flat spots on the wall, some shelves, and of course your curved walls. This is the 3x2 mess hall, which just kind of reimagines and shuffles things around. It's still got this basic idea of your kitchen here with your food storage on the left, but obviously it doesn't go around the corner over there, and then does not have the lounge thing, which would be on the opposite corner of the kitchen. Instead of the private little room is off to the left, and on this one is of course actually like an additional dining room, like an officer's dining room kind of thing. So just a little rearranging there. This ladder doesn't cause anything to be lost. But obviously when you go downstairs, just like the 2x3, you're going to have your same basic idea, right? You've got the kitchen, but obviously the galley's over here to the right instead of being right there. This one's also better lit than the other one. Food storage area, little nook over here. And then, but yeah, you can still pull off, kind of your own mess hall crew quarters combination by getting rid of a lot of the tables. I mean, I would be inclined to put the tables in here. This one does not have the pillar, which is nice. So it's not taking up space right there in the middle of the floor. So it gives you a little more flexibility in what you want to do with this hab. And finally, we are in the 3x3 cargo hall. Definitely like this one, how it has this smaller room over here, the window looking out, another small room on the other corner.
Something you need?
So that right there, as we can imagine, is definitely going to give us some potential to work with once we go downstairs and see what it looks like empty. So So it gives you obviously no bonuses, no bathroom, nothing solid in here, but a nice good blank slate to work with. I mean, I could see definitely some kind of a crew quarters, like huge convention kind of setup. I don't know what you would do with it, but I like to think you'd be able to do something a little more creative with it when you have these walls in here. But then again, it'd be nice just to have all those walls in the decoration, right? Come to think of it, the walls, the windows, the doorways. It's probably all modular anyways in the game files. So, oh well. Well, folks, I do hope you enjoyed this and found it useful to go through all those, all the HopeTech empty Habs here and kind of see what the differences are. The next one will be Nova Galactic. I'll try to have that out in the next week or two. And as always, be sure to tune into the Starfield Report podcast, where Jax and I go over all the fun Starfield stuff we're up to. We're currently going through the main quest. Take care, folks. I'll see you in the Starfield.